Right now, News 4 Today, terror in New Orleans.
A driver deliberately darting around a police vehicle and into a crowd of New Year's revelers on the city's famed Bourbon Street. 15 people are dead, 30 others hurt. The suspect, an Army veteran carrying an ISIS flag, killed in a shootout with police.
He was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did.
Cell phone video capturing bodies sprawled out in the iconic French Quarter. The FBI calling the act of violence terrorism, and this morning searching for a motive.
And I turned to look down the street and there's just bodies littered throughout the entire street.
It was chaos and very, very scary.
Live team coverage on the investigation, the victims, and the beefed up security here in D.C. ahead of two major events starts now. We have reporters in D.C. and Louisiana covering every angle of this story. Let's begin with NBC News senior national correspondent Tom Yamas.
He is live in New Orleans this morning, the scene of that horrific attack. Tom, good morning to you. We understand investigators are still working to uncover a motive.
Tony Millette, good morning. We are live in New Orleans for you this morning. That's correct. The FBI has issued search warrants. We learned this overnight in various homes around New Orleans and other states. This, again, according to the FBI, as they search for a motive. Just behind me here on Canal Street is Bourbon, right there in that corner. That is where that alleged terrorist drove his white pickup truck. He jumps the curb, goes around that police car, and then zooms down Bourbon Street for at least 3 blocks before crashing into the crane and getting into a shootout with police. I've spoken to eyewitnesses who were there the night of the attack, and they say after that car zoomed by, it looked like a war zone. Some saying they're going to now need therapy after all the brutal and grisly injuries they saw, including all those deaths. At least 15 people have died. I had a chance to speak with the family of Nicole Perez. She was a 27-year-old single mom. She had a 5-year-old son that she loved so much. His name is Melvin, and the family is beside themselves. They have no idea how they're going to tell this little boy what happened to their mother. They're also just so upset that this could happen in Bourbon Street on such a big night, right? New Year's Eve, a night you think there would be enough security, and those are the questions being asked today. Why weren't more security guards put in place here, bollards, other things like that, so that pickup truck couldn't have gone out? We also know that the Sugar Bowl, which was set to take place last night, is going to take place today at 4 o'clock Eastern. The governor feels that it's safe for the game to take place. He says he's going to be there as well, but a lot of questions surrounding that, if it's just too soon and whether the city is safe right now. There are a lot of police here. Multiple agencies from all over the state have come into Florida, including the FBI, to make sure things are safe here. Back to you guys.
Obviously still an active scene. Tom Yamas reporting live from New Orleans. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom's full report coming up next on the Today Show. They will also have a live interview with New Orleans Superintendent of Police Ann Kirkpatrick. That starts at 7 a.m.
As the FBI hones in on the suspect's motive, federal investigators are looking into if there are any connections between the New Orleans attack and another possible terror attack in Las Vegas.
Authorities say a Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside a Trump hotel on New Year's Day, killing the driver inside and injuring several bystanders. News 4's Chris Pallone continues our team coverage this morning. He's tracking developments from Capitol Hill. Chris, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Tony and Millette. 2 deadly New Year's Day incidents in 2 of the most popular tourist destinations in the U.S., both using vehicles rented through the same app. Now federal investigators are trying to figure out whether the similarities end there.
Good evening.
President Biden extending the nation's condolences to people in New Orleans after the New Year's Day French Quarter truck attack, which left at least 15 people dead.
To all the families of those who were killed, to all those who are injured, to all the people of New Orleans who are grieving today, I want you to know, I grieve with you. Our nation grieves with you.
The FBI says the attack is being investigated as an act of terror.
The subject has been identified as 42-year-old Samsoud Dim Jabbar, a U.S.-born citizen from Texas.
Jabbar, a veteran of the Army and Army Reserves, died in a shootout with police. Agents searched a home in Houston believed to be connected to Jabbar. They want to know how he became radicalized and whether he had help.
The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, He posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. The ISIS flag was found in his vehicle, which he rented to conduct this attack.
Hours later in Las Vegas, the driver of a Tesla Cybertruck rented through the same app as the Ford truck used in New Orleans detonated explosives in the truck while parked outside the Trump International Hotel. The driver died in the explosion and fire, and a few bystanders were hurt. Investigators don't yet know the motive.
I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do. We have a ton of resources dedicated to this right now, and again, we're doing it with our partners.
Coordinated or coincidences? The hunt is on to find out. Investigators say they don't believe that Jabbar acted alone. There is no active manhunt for any known accomplices at this time. The FBI has set up a tip line so people can call and give any information they might have about Jabbar to help with the investigation. Tony and Millette, back to you.
All right, Chris Pallone, thank you so very much. And News 4 is staying on top of both of these investigations. You can get the very latest updates when we're not on the air on our website, NBCWashington.com.
6:49, let's get you updated on the forecast. Things different, colder now. Not as windy as yesterday, though.
True.
Waiting on that snow to start?
Yeah, tomorrow looks like we'll get a chance to see a wintry mix Friday afternoon. Late Friday afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Saturday will be a nice day to enjoy. Sunny, cold, but dry. And then Sunday into Monday will be problematic. Sunshine continues to rise across our area. Officially, 7:26 will be our sunrise. Temperatures in the 30s, 38 degrees. Winds are steady at about 13 to 15 miles per hour. Gaithersburg, 32 degrees. Baltimore at 35, and out to our west, Leesburg in the Commonwealth coming in at 34 degrees. Now, throughout the day today, we will be below average. Temperatures normally about 46 degrees. Temperatures only rising to the low 40s today, but the wind will not be as difficult as it was to handle yesterday when we had a few spots that exceeded 50 miles per hour. Today, more of 20 to 25 miles per hour. So with that, temperatures will continue to be below average today. We will have some sunshine, breezy rather than blustery. That light snow mix will be in the afternoon, Friday ending. Then we're tracking greater amounts of snow potentially Sunday night into Monday. Now, the reason for that, as we talk forecast, everyone, the cold air is in place, number one. Continues to spill down, as you notice the track of the clouds. They continue to come down from areas of the northern plains, the Ohio Valley, reaching across Pennsylvania and into our area. So the cold air, and it will be here to stay. We're starting out, it will be sunny across our area. Some high to mid clouds will be passing through the afternoon, but no precipitation today. Now, future weather into tomorrow. Notice I said this is tomorrow afternoon, about 3:30, the rush hour for many of us. Still some more snow out to our west, but this will be starting out with rain because we'll be above freezing along the I-95 corridor. But as that cold air spills in, we'll have a chance to pick up some more of that precipitation across our area. So here's a forecast, everyone. We talked about the mix for tomorrow. Temperatures, notice how they will be much colder as we continue into the weekend. Highs only in the mid-30s. That is why it does look like the next weather maker as well be late snow, I should say late for Sunday into Monday. Temperatures only into 20s, and then it will be colder for the week ahead. Let's take a look at traffic right now.
All right, thank you, Clay. Taking a look at Frederick, southbound 270 after 80, some debris in the roadway. Beltway looks okay. Oakton, Fox Mill at Vale, lanes blocked by the down tree there. Travel times eastbound 66 and northbound 95, no issues. Southbound 270 and outer loop Colesville to 270 on time.
To our coverage of the pickup truck attack in New Orleans. In our area, local and federal law enforcement are upping security in the wake of New Orleans and ahead of several major events coming over the next few weeks.
There are new measures in place to keep everyone safe. News 4's Joseph Omo joins us near the Capitol with what people in our area need to know.
Hey guys, good morning. You know, even though this terrorist attack happened down in New Orleans, we are indeed seeing increased security here in D.C. Outside of the Capitol, fencing was already going up before that attack yesterday because, of course, we have a presidential inauguration in just a couple of weeks. But there are now two local law enforcement agencies, the D.C. Police Department and the Metro Transit Police Department, both saying, yeah, they are upping security throughout the city because of this. Take last night for an example. Check it out. Capital One Arena, something we don't see too often outside of some of the major events that they have there. We saw barrier fencing yesterday blocking 7th and F Streets. The area very busy with thousands of people walking around because of a Washington Wizards game. Of course, we have two major events happening in D.C. over the next few weeks. The funeral for President Jimmy Carter next week, and the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump on January 20th. So we asked the chief of D.C. Police yesterday at a 5K event about the safety of large-scale events like those. Take a listen.
We've been preparing for large crowds. That's what we specialize in here in the District of Columbia at the Metropolitan Police Department. We'll continue to work very closely with our local and state partners to see if there are any critical threats to the district, and if there are, we will posture ourselves accordingly.
Okay, speaking about threats, we got a statement from the D.C. Police Department yesterday saying there are no known credible threats across the district, which is good news. But on top of everything now, we have an event at Capital One Arena happening the day before the inauguration. We just learned that former President Trump, or President-elect Trump, is going to be holding a rally there at Capital One Arena the day before he gets inaugurated. So it's going to be a busy couple of weeks here in D.C. with security top of mind. Back to you.
Thank you, Joseph. In just 18 days, President-elect Trump will call D.C. home for the second time.
This morning, we know new details about a recent meeting between him and D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. On Monday, Bowser traveled to Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida for her third face-to-face meeting with the president-elect. Bowser called the meeting good and said the pair discussed a host of issues, including D.C.'s recent drop in violent crime, as well as revitalizing the downtown district.
My job is to speak up for the residents of the District of Columbia. I left that meeting with the president's commitment to work with us, to stay in line and communication with us. I would characterize it as a good meeting and a meeting that was forward-looking.
Mayor Bowser told reporters she does plan to attend President-elect Trump's inauguration ceremony. 4 things to know at 6:55. A man in a pickup truck plowed through Bourbon Street in New Orleans, killing 15 people, hurting more than 30 others, and investigators say 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar was flying a black ISIS flag on his pickup truck during that attack.
D.C. Police and Metro Transit Police are upping their presence throughout the city ahead of several major events taking place over the next 3 weeks. They include former President Jimmy Carter's funeral and a rally for President-elect Donald Trump. It's scheduled to take place at Capital One Arena a day before his inauguration.
A family of 4 is recovering after being rescued after crashing into the water off Rock Creek Parkway in Northwest D.C. D.C. firefighters say they had to use a boat to reach that family stuck in the car underwater last night. Medics took all of them to the hospital for hypothermia treatment.
And the D.C. Council will hold swearing-in ceremonies for council members and other elected officials. They start later this morning at the Washington Convention Center. If you drive by this area, parking restrictions and street closures are in effect for much of today, so plan accordingly.
And we're talking about today, a chilly day, but not as windy as yesterday. For tomorrow, wintry mix for the afternoon commute. Temperatures will be in the low 40s. Notice how temperatures continue to drop. So we're going to keep an eye on Sunday and Monday.
All right. Oakton, Fox Mill Road and Vale Road still have those lanes blocked because of a downed tree. Inner loop, outer loop of the Beltway, and all other major routes into town and out of town are looking pretty good.
All right. We thank you for joining us for News 4 Today.
That's right. The Today Show is next. Your local news and weather continues streaming live on News 4's First and Foremost at 7 a.m.